Welcome back, everybody. Welcome to Talk That Talk Pod, brought to you by First Look, Outreach Society. I'm here with First Look's founder, Eddie. Nice to meet you today, Eddie.
Thank
Good
you
to
for
have
having
you
me.
here, even though this is technically your podcast.
I mean, yeah.
So, Eddie, I want to ask you, what inspired you to start First Look Outreach? Like, what was really the inspiration behind you starting, this kind of organization?
Like ever since I was young, I've always been a service type of person. Like I've always loved helping people, doing something for people. Um, I remember even when I was younger, like about 16 years old, helping my sister's soccer team, just helping the coach around, grab balls, like whatever it is that they needed me to do. I was just there helping coach or thinking I was coaching at the time, anyways. But yeah, no, I just loved helping people. And just as I got deeper into coaching, I realized that a lot of kids didn't really have a path outside of becoming pro. So a lot of times when I talk to them, the first thing they say is, "Oh, I want to be pro this, I want to be pro that." I mean, when I coach the grassroots program, like the 8-year-olds, I ask them what they want to do after soccer. Oh, I want to be pro. So it really led me to think like half these kids are not going to go anywhere with the sport that they're in. So what do they do afterwards? And then it really hit me after one of our provincial finals. I was speaking with one of our players, and I asked him like, "So what are you going to do now? Like you're 17, youth soccer is done. What's your path after this?" And he's like, "I don't know because I poured my life into this." And that really hit me. And then once we had that conversation, it really pushed me to continue on with my journey, and it gave me more power to keep it going.
Wow, that's really, really awesome. When you speak to athletes about what they're going to do when their, sports career is over or, when they wrap up where they currently are at as student athletes, is it one of those things where you kind of notice almost that, identity shock? It's like people are trying to figure out who they are again after,
Exactly,
they get out of that part of their life?
honestly, they don't look like themselves after they've realized that they're not where they wanted to be. Let's say 7 years ago, because most athletes start becoming serious about sports between 12 and 15. Before that, they're kind of just playing around and seeing where it goes. But then I feel like that's kind of like the juicy age of sports between 12 and 15 where they actually start believing that they can do it because they're either on a high level team or a high tier team and their coaches are selling them the dream. And then eventually, once it's done, then they realize, wow, like I'm not as good as I wanted to be or I thought I was. There's levels to this sport that I'm playing, and it's either the dedication is not there anymore or they feel lost, you know. And I feel like if there's an avenue for them to either continue their educational path and not forget about the sports aspect so much, then at least they have some path after that realization.
Right. That's really awesome. And it's, really good that, you really think about where their mindset is at, their futures, even down to their core identities and who they are as people, once sports is over, once it's time to look ahead to that next phase. And if you don't mind me asking, what are some specific things that First Look does or what, services or programs do they offer athletes to, help them, over that bridge from sports and going pro to the next phase of their life?
That's a good question, actually. One of our services that we offer is like a scholarship program, and it's not your normal conventional scholarship. But what we do is we actually, between 15 and 17, we actually put you with a mentor in a field. So let's say you're a dentist or a lawyer or whatever the career path is or office is, will like partner you up with one of their people in the office or wherever they are, and they'll take you under their wings throughout your high school career. So as you're going through high school, you'll be meeting up with your mentor. The mentor will be checking in on you, and eventually they'll kind of the more work you do for them in their practice, they'll be kind of putting those hours aside, and then once you're done with their program, they'll give you a scholarship to go towards. Let's say you were doing a law, or you were working with a lawyer. After you finish your high school career, they'll give you a scholarship to go through law school or to pursue your law degree or whatever
That
it
is
is,
incredible.
right?
That is an incredible resource and an
Yeah.
incredible program, Coach Eddie. And I'm sure so many students and student athletes are lucky to, have access to that resource. And, finally, just to wrap things up, what do you think is, your greater mission for First Look? When you think about First Look getting as big as it can possibly be, what does that look like to you? Like, what does your ultimate goal and outreach look like for First Look?
What I want people to think and know when they first think about First Look outreach, or even in the sports in general, I want them to realize that becoming a pro is not the only goal or dream. Yes, it's fun and it's nice to think that you're gonna be pro, but understanding that even if you do go pro, you do it for a year or two, 3 years. Understanding that it's not a lifetime thing, right? And you might be 28 when you retire. What do you do after that? Because some people go pro at 19, 20. You know, they do a 5 year career at 25, 26. What now, right? So at least having some kind of educational portion beside you or behind you, it gives you that extra push to do something else, right?
Yeah, that's actually really interesting when you realize a lot of men, a lot of student athletes are still in their young adult phase. When they retire, girls, even younger. We don't stay in sports as long as the boys do. Typically by
Exactly.
19, 20, 21 at best, we tend to be done.
You phase out.
So yeah, you phase out. So it's one of those things where it's really awesome to have that bridge and that broader spectrum for the program.
Absolutely. No, it's for me, I think it's something that I want people to always continuously think about. And if I want somebody to in Saudi Arabia to be like, oh, you know what, First Look Outreach helped me. China, First Look Outreach helped me. I want to be present in everybody's world, because sports it's a universal thing. Everybody plays sports,
That's a good place to be.
Did you ever play sports?
I did. I ran track and field. I played basketball. I swam. I don't know if it's considered a sport, but I did dance. I was a ballet
I don't
dancer,
know.
acrobatic dance. Yeah, that was
It's
my
not
history.
bad. It's not
But
bad.
track was my main thing. I was a runner for a long time.
Are you faster than me?
Probably not right now, but in my prime, I might have been.
I don't know, man. I think I was running a 10.1 in high school, man.
Oh, see, as a high school girl at 15, I was running 12:27.
12:27? Yeah, nah. I'm probably still faster than you.
Yeah, definitely.
I got my son. He plays for Edmonton Elk Selects, and he thinks he's still faster than me, but I don't know, man. Like, speed doesn't leave you, technique doesn't leave you. Speed might leave you, technique doesn't leave you. That's what it is.
And
right?
his son is right behind the scenes right here. Miko, what do you got to say to that? Miko says his dad is lying, you guys. That's the verdict.
Man. I'm not known for being a liar, so we can race on one of these days when you go to practice. I can take off my pants and put my shorts on. We can get at it.
All right. Well, that's all the time we have for today, you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in to Talk That Talk Pod, hosted by First Look Outreach. This is your man, Coach Eddie.
Thank you.
Founder,
Thank you very much.
owner. That's it for today.
Appreciate you guys. Thank you.